Hey friends, welcome to another review keywords with me. So I've been doing this for the last couple of months, and you can check out the previous episodes by going to my YouTube channel, and I'll have a playlist there, so you can definitely see the previous ones, and each one's a little bit different. I have similar process, but I like to try and change it up and give you guys different information in each one. And the other thing I recommend is going to my website, digitalbloomiq.com, and going to the blog section. And I actually have them organized there as well, because again, I want to just give you a sneak peek of how I do my own SEO. And this is very much a reflection of how I work with my clients. And if you want to get more information about how to do SEO for yourself, how to look for keywords for yourself, I recommend that you check out my Homegrown Traffic SEO course. And it's going to be opening up again in October. I'm really excited. It's my favorite course, one of my favorite courses. And it's where I teach you the step-by-step process of doing SEO for yourself without the technology, overwhelm, without the super too much information, right? So I give you what you need exactly to do this stuff for yourself, and not be overwhelmed by it. So you can get more information by going again to my website, digitalbloomiq.com, and looking under courses, you're going to see Homegrown Traffic, and that will take you to the sales page. And there's going to be a waiting list. So I recommend getting on that because there's going to be some early bird stuff too. Okay, so let's dive into this review keywords walkthrough. So the first thing I recommend is actually to not have the Search Console open. So we're going to be focusing on the Search Console today. But I actually recommend the first thing is to get out a notebook, or if you're more of a digital person, just open up a new document, a Google Doc, whatever. And I want you to really think about, what are your goals for the quarter? What are you focusing on right now? What are you doing in your business, right? So a lot of the times with these tools, we kind of open them up and then we're like, well, tell me something, right? And that's not how I recommend you approach these tools. I actually recommend you come to the tool with some information. So for me, this quarter, I'm going to be launching this course that I just mentioned. I've also got some stuff that I'm launching in December. And I already have a sense of what content I'm going to be creating to promote those offerings. So not only do I want you to think about your goals, but I also want you to tie it back and think about, what content would I love to publish on my blog post, on my blog, that would support these goals. So this doesn't mean you need to publish something every day, right? You don't need to publish something SEO specific every day or every week. It could just be more about that intentionality of having one specific blog post that is really connected with what you're selling. And this is something I'm doing, right? So I have one blog post. I can't tell you guys what it is yet, but I have one blog post that's coming out that I've been working on for the last couple weeks that is super intentionally connected with my course, because I know that the people who are searching for that blog post would really be interested in learning more about SEO and potentially taking a course. Now, that doesn't mean they for sure will do that, but there's that intentionality and there's that thought process. So again, the point of this isn't that every single thing you write about needs to be, it doesn't need to be so strict, but there can be kind of this, what would I love to write about that would potentially have someone look at my course, or what would just feel fun to write about that, someone would sign up for my email list, or whatever your goal is, right? So you get what I'm saying? So step one, review your goals and think about how your blog and your website overall is supporting that, and what specific pages you want to be key players in reaching that goal. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I do in these keyword review things. Now you can open up your Search Console. If you don't have it set up, I have a video in my YouTube channel that walks you through how to set up the Search Console for yourself. The first thing I do is just open up this performance report, and I just look at like, what am I ranking in right now? So I look at the last 3 months, since I'm looking at this on a quarterly basis, and I just kind of take a general look at like, what's ranking. And so I've been showing you guys in the last couple of keyword views, I've been doing really well with this wellness keywords. It's been growing pretty consistently over the last couple months. But for example, this health keywords list, this is kind of new. I wasn't ranking in this before. So this is a good time to just get curious and like look at like if there are any new keywords. And if there aren't, that's okay as well. But it's just good to keep an open mind. And if you want to kind of make it smaller and see, okay, let's see if there's like a different trend in the last month versus the last 3 months. So this is interesting. So Traffic Boost is actually a email course I have. And so it looks like people are just searching that, and I've actually gotten some clicks. That's really cool. So again, just getting curious and writing down some notes. And if you do see any keywords that you do find interesting, then you want to note those down in your keyword document, or if you have a keyword strategy document, that's what I recommend, so that you keep track of those and you just, document like if you are using any keywords intentionally. So that's the second step, just like getting some awareness and just looking at, okay, what am I ranking in and which of these could I potentially start using more intentionally? Okay. And then the third step is, what would I like to rank in? So here we're taking it a step further. And again, this is kind of connected to the first step, is like, what are the things that like I would love to write about that could potentially be keywords, right? That would then connect with my goal. So I'm going to just do a brief skim here and see if there's anything that I could show you guys. So this is kind of interesting. So this audit SEO checklist, I actually have this as an opt-in. So that could be interesting, but it's not super connected with the course actually. Okay, so we're not going to do that one. Let's see. So how to add Google Analytics to Squarespace. I have that. How do you add keywords to your website? That one's kind of interesting. Okay, so for example, here's one. We're going to focus on this one. So this is a DIY SEO course. So this is a really clean intention, right? So this is definitely someone who's already looking for my course. And so what I would do here is I would actually use this on my sales page. So the next step that I want to do is open up my Google, just a normal Google, and I'm just going to search DIY SEO course. And so this is a way that you can do keyword research on the fly, and that's really easy and just simple. So what does this do? Basically, this tells me, if anybody is competing for this, first of all, there are ads. So this means that there are definitely searches. There's definitely people searching for this. And then looking at this people ask, this also gives me other keyword ideas. So this, I would note all of these actually. That's interesting. And I also look at like these websites that are potential competition, because this also tells me kind of how popular and how hard is it for me to rank for this. So you could judge at a high level competition by looking at these websites. And if they're smaller businesses, if they're bigger businesses. So for example, I'm pretty aware of the SEO big players, and I don't see any of them here. So that tells me that this keyword isn't a high competing keyword, but it is still getting some sort of searches. So I would note all of these. I know in the last video I had my keyword strategy doc open, and this time I haven't, but I would definitely copy and paste all of these, because these are all additional keyword ideas that I can use to create content around. And then the last thing I would do is scroll to the very, very bottom. And this is, again, searches related to my search query. So this is other keywords that I could use to research and target. So I know that some of you are like, okay, but Cynthia, this is all speculation. Like, I want some real numbers. And so one of the tools that I teach in the Homegrown Traffic course is actually a free tool that is by AdWords that gives you keyword metrics. And so there you can start to look at some, they're estimate numbers as well. So if you want to like get more specific numbers, then you probably have to invest in a paid tool. But if you're just, someone who's wanting to do SEO for themselves, I don't recommend necessarily buying a paid tool unless you're, unless you really want to, that's fine. But you can get away with this without paying for this by using some free tools out there. And so this is one of the things I teach in Homegrown Traffic, is how to like analyze and get this data so that you can get really more specific about, okay, is this keyword really something that I want to be creating a whole bunch of content around? Okay, but the first step, remember guys, is to grab as many keywords as possible. And then after, you come back and you look at that specific data, and you want to make sure that you're also doing a gut check on these, like, is this something I actually want to write about? Is this something interesting to me? Would I feel excited to create content around this? And you want to make sure that you do have some excitement, because that's going to just make sure that the content is amazing and that people are really vibing with it. Okay, so let's just wrap up this review keywords with me. So the first step, connect with your goals, connect with what you want your SEO to be doing as part of your marketing. What do you want your return to be? What's the point of it, if that's even a question? Because for some of you, you're like, well, I should be doing this and I should be doing that. And I'm not saying to not do SEO, but maybe SEO isn't a high priority for you right now, and taking it off your plate is actually a better plan. You would have never watched an SEO video where I tell you not to do SEO. No, I think you guys get what I'm saying, right? Just like look at your priorities, because I rather you do really good SEO that you're like excited, and like you don't always have to be super like looking forward to it, but it's something that you're like invested in, you're taking ownership in. I rather that than you're like kind of dragging yourself through it. That's not going to be effective, and you're going to waste time and energy. So look at your goals and really look at, what's SEO doing for me? How is it getting me leads? How is it getting me sales? How is it getting me to my goals? And then the second step is just have a general look of the lay of the land, and look at like, how did the last month go? So for me, I can see that my keywords are improving, and I will go back and update my keyword strategy doc with those new keywords, and also look at the old ones and just kind of like keep up to date. I like to track month by month and see how am I doing. And then the last step is like, kind of like brainstorm, but using the Search Console and the Google Search Suggest tool, you can see, okay, are any of these, keywords that I want to be targeting? And I definitely do. I think this SEO plan is interesting. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to go back to my launch plan, and I'm going to see, okay, I want to write about this, right? Like, what blog posts can I create, right, around this? And I'm really excited about this now, because these feel like really relevant keywords. And it's funny because this DIY one, I probably will add that to the sales page as well. It's already in my sales page, but I'm now more excited about these other ones because I can see how much these relate to the original one. So that's what I love about the SEO process. It's not so like fixed. It's kind of like this opportunity to have a conversation and look at like, okay, what are people asking? And sometimes, well, most of the time, what you think people are asking is not the same. And there might be different angles to the same question that looking at something like this gives you that awareness. So that is my review keywords for you. Let me know if you have any questions. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave me a comment below, and definitely subscribe because I am getting more into my YouTube game. I like YouTube. I like these videos, and I know that you guys find them useful. So leave me a comment, subscribe, and tell me what you want to learn from me as well. I'm always open to getting more ideas, and just giving you as much as I can through these videos. All right, have a great day. Talk soon.